So we just launched Prep Insta Prime subscription, which is like 150 plus courses under one subscription. So it has courses like C, C++, Java, Python, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, data structures, competitive coding, even company specific courses like TCS, NQT, Infosys, TCS Digital, Amazon, etc. The link is in the description of the video. Go check that out. I'm sure that you'll love that. Now, hello everyone, welcome. We are going to be discussing the Infosys syllabus and test pattern, right? So Infosys has announced it's on campus in approximately 200 colleges. That would happen in August 1st and 7th. In other, all the other colleges which are beyond 200 top colleges, it will be in September 1st to 7th. The dates may change for a few colleges, but that's the more or less the average dates that Infosys has told us. Also, you must watch this video even if your college hasn't told you, because two reasons. It may be a possibility that your college will announce the drive in within 1 to 2 days because Prep Insta gets to know that early. Other colleges also will have its off-campus drive, so there would be complete off-campus for everybody in December 2020. And if not, then Prep Insta Prime students will help you with the off-campus drive for exclusively you. If this particular off-campus does not happen, we'll speak to Infosys about Prep Insta Prime students, right? So we'll also show some actual questions of the exam. I'll very quickly be showing you. So we'll be discussing some actual questions and the whole pattern and eligibility, but more about that a little later. Make sure, again, first thing is Prep Insta Prime turned 1 and we are offering 70 plus 20% discount on our Prep Insta Prime subscription. You'll get access to 200 plus courses, including Infosys course as well. So make sure that you check that. So there's this Infosys course as you can see here, right? But we'll talk more about that a little later. Again, there are so many companies like Ola currently is hiring off campus. We posted the link on our social media, so make sure that you follow all the social media channels of Prep Insta. Link in description. Top 3 comments as always. Get Prep Insta Prime subscription absolutely free, right? So let's talk about the pattern of Infosys, and I'll also tell you wherein you can find all the previous year papers, so on, so that you can prepare for Infosys better. So they have, first of all, the exam is going to be very difficult and the cutoff is going to be very high. Last year, Infosys hired 35 to 40,000 people. This year, because of recession, they are going to hire 20,000 initially, and then based upon how the recession goes, they will hire a few extra candidates with the off-campus drives later, but initial commitment from them is 20,000 for the on-campus drive. So approximately half is what they'll be hiring this year. So the test is going to be of the same difficulty as last year, which was difficult again, but the cutoff would be further high, which is, again, you can see. So for example, first section is reasoning ability. 15 questions, 25 minutes. They're also calling it as basically arithmetic and analytical. I'll show you the topics that there are. The cutoff would be 7 to 8 questions. So as you can see, we've said 50% approximately is the cutoff. So the test is going to be very difficult, even though it's competitive, because approximately 3 lakh people would be giving exam and only 50 to 60,000 will clear the written exam, right? Because again, 20,000 have to get selected finally, right? So 50 to 60,000 will reach the interview round, but still we are saying that the cutoff is 50% because the test difficulty is very high, almost like CAT level of difficulty. Then technical ability, which is basically, this is nothing but aptitude. But there would be some certain components of logical as well. 10 questions, 35 minutes. So as you can see, even though there are 10 questions, they are giving you 35 minutes. So approximately 3.5 minutes per question. So you can say that they themselves are saying that, okay, the test is going to be difficult. The cutoff is 5 to 6 questions, which is basically 50 to 60%, as you can see. Then verbal ability, 20 questions, 20 minutes. Cutoff is going to be 13 to 14 questions. Now, my point is, even though they're giving 1 minute per question here, but it's to be honest, my particular experience has been that the reading comprehension question of Infosys is the most difficult question in the whole of any of these topics. Very important reading. So we'll talk more about the topics asked. Then pseudocode. This is, as I will be discussing later, this would be a make or break section. If you don't clear the cutoff in the pseudocode section, even if you score 100%, 100%, 100%, 100% here, but you don't clear the high cutoff, which is going to be 5 out of 5 questions, 4 questions would be the cutoff, you will not go to the next round. Then numerical puzzles, which is again difficult. The whole test is difficult. The reason I'm telling you in advance is because people generally prepare that, okay, AMCAT exam is easy, CoCube's exam is easy, I gave DXC round, that was also easy, so I'll clear Infosys also. Even though it doesn't matter because eventually you're competing with other people, but the level of difficulty of the exam would be very high. So I'm telling you that in advance. Now, moving ahead, you must have received this thing from Infosys as well. Infosys sent the same thing for DSE and SP. They also sent very similar thing for SE, that is 3.6 LPA package as well. So there will be sectional cutoff. So there will be overall cutoff also, sectional cutoff also. Sectional navigation is not allowed. There will be no negative marking. Also, you can't switch between questions. So let's say if you are on question 1, to need to go to question number 2, you need to solve question number first, and you can't revisit it later. So that's what this particular thing says. As of now, they've said so, but if they change it, before that, you will get instructions before every new section comes, right? So let's say if you're solving section number 1, which is reasoning ability. So in reasoning ability, you can't go to question number 2 without solving question number 1. But let's say before starting the technical ability round, you will be given 2 minutes of relaxation time. In that relaxation time, they will give you instructions on how to solve these questions, etc., etc. Is there negative marking or not? Even though they've said negative marking here, we've seen sometimes Infosys, even though they says in the PDF that these are the instructions, but sometimes later on they change it. So please read instructions before giving the exam, before each and every section, because it may be different on what they've said right now. Also, there would be 3 types of questions. I'll show you: MCQ, MAQ, and FUB. Some questions would be 1 mark, 2 mark, and 3 mark questions. So, very important there. Now, MCQ questions is basically your general MCQs, right? So there will be A, B, C, D options, and then out of those, you have to mark 1, right? MAQ questions would be different. That is multiple answer questions. So there will be boxes, 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 and based upon some certain things, it may be possible that one of out of 4 options, maybe 2 of them are correct, maybe 3 of them are correct, maybe 4 of them are correct. So you need to check mark, and let's say only A and B are correct, so check mark A and B. So higher marking. So generally what we've seen, these 2 mark, 3 mark questions are generally MAQ type of format. And FUB, I'll show you an example. This is basically you have to enter something in the box. It could be a value till correct 2 decimal points. So let's say if it's 2, you need to write 2.00, right? They'll mention this in their instructions before the exam. If it's a number, so let's say the, you have to write, sorry, a word, you have to write the here. Now, one more thing, also further Infosys has said, so you can read all of this, you can read with this whole line. I want to focus here. Clearing Infosys pseudocode section cutoff is mandatory. So Infosys themselves are saying it. Overall score in the written round and the interview will be used to consider. So your interview scores plus whatever you scored in the written round also is important. So if you score highly in the written round and not so very good in the interview, you may still get selected based upon your written round process. Now, as I was saying here, so as you can see here, this is an FUB type of question because you have to enter the answer here, as you can see on the screen. So this is a sequence question from logical reasoning. Like, yeah, they've given A, OK, comma, Q, G, B, etc., etc. And then what would be the next thing in that case? Now, this is again, so this is also one of the question of for basically your FUB type of questions. Right now here, as you can see, there are some questions which would have higher marking. They will mention it here. So as you can see, they mentioned 2 marks here. One more thing is this is numerical puzzles question. So as you can see, this is a little difficult, but this is an MCQ type of question. Now to show you different types of more questions, these are actual exams question, by the way. So some questions can be of 3 marks. They'll mention it here. As you can say, FAQ, MAQ, multiple answer questions, as they say. As you can see, there are boxes here, so you need to check this, and let's say this, and partially marks would be awarded based upon that. Some questions are given here, as you can see, to help you understand with the difficulty level of the exam. This is a little difficult question, and this is also a little difficult question. So that if you will say Atulya is basically scaring us, right? I wanted to give you a little proof there so that you don't, well, you get scared, but I'm scaring you with a little proof. One more thing is, how do you find all of these previous year questions? So I just showed you, we have all of these screenshots from previous year, etc., etc., and for different sections. All of those are uploaded on Prep Instar's website. So you can go to prepare all platforms and then further on go to Infosys. And then here you can find all the previous year questions of Infosys. So let's say Want to check for data interpretation from, okay, so my internet I guess is not working properly. Okay, so my internet is not working properly, but basically you'll be able to find it on our website. Okay, so that's one thing. Now again, with Prep Insta Prime, you'll get access to 150 plus courses, including C, C++, Java, Python, machine learning, artificial intelligence, basic coding, intermediate coding, data structures, verbal tracks for service-based, product-based, and company-specific courses. There's a course for Infosys also, which, as you can see, covers the whole syllabus. So you'll be able to find, so the people who have Prep Insta Prime, they can find videos and previous year questions here. So I just wanted to very quickly talk to you about that. And basically you can Google, right? So let's say Infosys placement papers. So our website comes on top. On this website, you will be able to find all the previous year questions here. Wanted to quickly tell you. Now to tell you important topics from the first section, which is nothing but logical reasoning. So even if they give it a different name, this is nothing but logical reasoning. Generally in like quants, logical, verbal. So this is logical reasoning. Number of questions 25, 15, 7 to 8 cutoff. Now these are all the sections here, but what would happen is very important. This is very, 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 very important for you to understand. What we've seen is, even though this is the whole syllabus of the whole analysis done by Prep Insta over 7-8 years of previous year Infosys questions, but what happens is, out of 15 questions that you have, we've seen that in the whole paper, 5 questions were from data interpretation, 5 questions were from syllogism, 5 questions were from data sufficiency, and no other questions from arrangement, coding, decoding, number series, script arithmetic, Morse logical reduction and logical reduction, etc. Sometimes we have seen this in some papers. In some papers, we've also seen this, that okay, 5 questions from data interpretation, 5 questions from data sufficiency, and then the rest 5 questions are further divided. 1 here, let's say 2 here, 3 here. One more thing that we've, so you know, that's very important. One more thing that we've seen is sometimes Infosys will ask script arithmetic here in the reasoning ability section, and sometimes they will ask script arithmetic in the technical ability section. Even if they say the name is technical, to be honest, technical means coding. So it's not technical, it's nothing but aptitude, or you can even call it as quants, right? Quantitative aptitude. Or basically quants, right? Very important here. Now sometimes script arithmetic topic is asked in this particular section, so script arithmetic will definitely be asked. 2 to 3 questions is very difficult. 2 to 3 questions will definitely be there, either in the logical section or in the aptitude quant section, which is technical ability. These are the most important topics. In that case, the topics that I would like to highlight are the most important are so I've not mentioned it here, but basically I'm really sorry. Script arithmetic is the most important. Apart from that, your time and work is most important, and LCM, HCF, divisibility, and all of these are more important. One more thing is, sometimes what we've seen, and this is a little complicated, sometimes 1 or 2 questions of logical ability, that is the topics that you see here, are asked in aptitude. So it doesn't matter, right? Basically they are saying that okay, these are the topics, but they interchange between section. Overall, this and this is a combined syllabus, and anything could be asked anywhere. So I wanted to tell you, this is a little confusing here, but just wanted to give you that information. For verbal ability, these are the topics. As you can see here, the reading comprehension is very difficult. And again, 20 questions, 20 minutes, 13 to 14 questions. Let's move ahead further. In the case of pseudocode, which is again make it or break it section, even if you get 100% marks in all the other sections, but you don't clear the cutoff here, you are not going to the next round. Infosys has clearly mentioned it. I've also shown that to you. So again, 10 questions, 10 minutes, 5 questions, cutoff is 4 questions, is very, very high for this, right? So C, C++, data structures and input output, all of them you have to study really well. No Java, no Python. The input output questions would be based upon either C or C++, mainly due to garbage collection, 2-pointer allocations or pointers, or scope resolution. You need to perfectly study C, C++. If you are Prep Insta Prime subscriber in the case, then you will go ahead and study these two. And apart from that, we've created a specific course for pseudocode, here we recommend this. So we've created altogether a different course for pseudocode because so many companies are asking pseudocode. And then there are certain tricks. Now, detailed pattern for numerical puzzles is going to be like this. These are the few questions that I wanted to show you here. And again, go to Prep Insta, you'll find all the previous year questions. So that. Now moving ahead, I want to also discuss about Infosys has also shared this with you, which is very similar to what they said with SP DSP. So basically the total duration of the interview would be lesser, but they are going to be focusing upon this. So again, take a screenshot of this if you like. But more importantly, I wanted to focus here on what they've said is, if students have certifications and skills in advanced technologies, they will be preferred for candidature with Infosys, given that they demonstrate projects and codes in the interview. So basically, if you have skills in machine learning, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, neural networks, deep learning, ethical hacking, cloud, AWS, Azure, if you are certified in that, they will prefer you, surely, amongst other candidates. But given that you are able to demonstrate those skills, not just like, okay, I've done certification in it and that's it, right? They are saying that, okay, demonstrate project by sharing your screen and show us the code. It's very important. Also, Infosys doesn't discriminate. That's the standard line they've said. Also, they've said they will be impartial to people who would be from CSIT, non-CSIT, and they will be only focusing upon checking that do you have technical skills or coding skills equally. So no preference to CSIT student, no preference to non-CSIT student. Both of them, they'll treat equally that, okay, we'll ask you coding, right? And that's also what they've mentioned here. If you, for example, see this particular part, more or less very important, very similar type of things is what they mentioned. Now, one more thing. So that is the whole pattern. How do you prepare for it is, I've told you already, go to Prep Insta and go to programming, and here, let's say, go to all platforms, and here you can find all the previous year questions. My internet still isn't okay, so now it's working. So perfect. So you go to, let's say, if you want to study quants, logical, verbal, pseudocode, or puzzle, as you like. So in that case, let's say if you want to study for data interpretation, in that particular case, go to data interpretation and then start the particular question and mark your answer. You'll get your explanation here. Apart from that, you'll get your time-based performance as well. I haven't logged in, so I'm not getting it. But if you log in, you'll get to know that, okay, 30% of the people have solved this question before you, 70% of the people have solved this question after you. Apart from that, stats like okay, 33% of the people chose option D, which by mistake I chose correct, right? So that's it. Apart from that, if you have Prep Insta Prime subscription, ideally what I would be suggesting you is to be completing quants, logical, verbal, data and interpretation, visual reasoning, because that's basically numerical puzzles. Crypt arithmetic, there's a separate course. These courses first, and then finally to go to the Infosys course to practice previous year questions. And we have some specific videos just for Infosys. So practice all of them. And apart from that, you will also get other different things. For interviews, I would suggest you that, okay, pick up some skill like AI, ML, ethical hacking, or C++, Java, Python. Even though they're not asking Java, Python in the written round, they may ask it in the interview. You should know ideally C and C++ definitely, and one out of Java or Python, and then basic coding, intermediate coding, competitive coding, data structures for the interview. Sorry, not competitive coding for Infosys, but basic coding, intermediate coding, and data structures for Infosys as well. We've created a separate course which is DSA for service-based company. I will highly recommend that to you. And there's a track for service-based company. If you're preparing for all the service-based companies that visit your campus, rather than different courses, you can just go ahead with this particular course, right? And for projects, I will suggest you all of these projects and pseudocode for coding. And if you're a CSIT student, definitely operating system, DBMS, SDLT, computer networks is what you should be doing. So if you have any questions, you can always ask in the comment section. I would personally reply for the first 2 days from my personal ID on YouTube to most of those. If not, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram. So let's say you can even text us on Prep Insta's Instagram, that is Prep Insta 2023 here. We get approximately 700 800 messages every day. I assume you're a 2023 batch, so in that case Prep Insta 2023. If you're a 24 batch, so we have different account. If not, then you can message me here on my personal ID, that is atulya.kaushik, and I will help you with all of those. So thank you so much. I'll see you up ahead in the next video.